in these last few months with rising agricultural distress, compounded by the undemocratic passage of 3 farm bills with widespread adverse ramifications for the agrarian economy, we have witnessed nationwide protests by farmer groups whose very survival is at stake. Even as the government, in their obduracy, failed to engage constructively with the farmers, one hoped that at least the budget would take cognizance of their distress and offer tangible measures to address and alleviate their current plight. No such luck here in this budget. Shastri ji gave us the slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Modi ji's contribution to this budget is Na Jawan, Na Kisan. Now, we must recognize that the current nationwide protests led by peaceful farmers who've been unconscionably sidelined by the undemocratic farm bills reflects only the tipping point. But the rot in the sector has been prevalent for a long time thanks to this government's myopic approach, which continues in the current budget. The overall budget of the department saw a minuscule increase of 5% from last year's revised estimates, but was 8% below the budget allocated last year. Similarly, despite the government's assurances, the budget does little to assuage the fear of the farmers regarding MSP. The 2 schemes that ensure MSP, Market Intervention Scheme and Price Support Scheme, and Pradhan Mantri Annadata Aay Sanrakshan Yojana, have witnessed consecutive reductions in the last 2 years, leading to a 20 to 25% cut in this year's budget. I heard the Prime Minister mention MSP. I didn't hear him mention a quarter of the budget for it has been cut. Much was made by this government about the flagship PM Kisan scheme just before the elections, as you may remember. But despite being one of the major direct cash transfer schemes and therefore in direct need of a rise in allocation, the scheme has witnessed a 10,000 crore rupee drop of 13%, in other words, in its allocation. The disbursal amount of 6,000 rupees per farmer under PM Kisan has not been enhanced either, nor has the scheme been extended to tenant farmers, sharecroppers, women farmers, Adivasi farmers, who've all been excluded from this benefit from the start. Instead, no, it's true. Instead, 2,326 crores was transferred to 40 lakh ineligible beneficiaries. This is from the government's own figures. Even the previous head of Aadhaar said that he received the PM Kisan payment for which he was not entitled. So Sudboots are receiving the government's money, but what are the farmers getting? Even worse is the plight of the fishermen. In my own constituency, Mr. Chairman, I've seen them devastated by Cyclone Oki, the floods of 2018 and 2019, and now the pandemic. But this budget has not only denied them any relief, let alone a special relief package. There is nothing in the budget in terms of fiscal support, diesel subsidies, lower GST, nothing. Nets and fishing equipment even they have to buy at the price they paid before the pandemic and before all these calamities. You've given relief to tea garden workers in Assam and Bengal, where you believe the ruling party has a chance. But you've ignored thousands of tea workers in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And I think we can understand why, but is this fair? Frankly, sir, we are looking at a very sad situation. उच्च वर्ग के गिने चुने कुछ व्यापारी को फायदा है, मुल्क चलाने को बतलाओ, ये भी कोई कायदा है? Anyway, at a time of unprecedented civil, political, economic distress in our country, this government had a great chance to show us that it was willing to bring this country back together. That was precisely what we expected from the union budget, a platform through which this government could actually display a bold vision for reviving the economy and offering much-needed relief to our citizens who have had to face one of the most challenging periods in contemporary history. Instead, our citizens have been left thoroughly disappointed by the government's repeated mediocrity in matters of policy making. This tepid budget ignored the middle class in their hour of need. You have given them extortionate tax increases and fuel prices. Since 2014, the excise duty on petrol has gone up by 348%. On diesel, the excise duty has gone up by 894%. Soon, banks will have to provide not just car loans, but fuel loans, Mr. Chairman, so you can buy fuel for the cars, thanks to the taxes that this government has put up.